Hey loves, how are you? I have a few quick announcements, but I want to let you know that I'm going to be doing a 22 days to inner union series. So really focusing on ways that we can focus on coming into more internal union, because I'm sure most of you know, the more internally we are in union and harmony with ourselves, the easier it is to show up in external union. Also in drawing that energy towards you to come into those unions in the physical world. And it's like this idea that I used to always talk about: the more you love yourself, the more you can love others. And so there's going to be a lot of focus on that, obviously, but I'm sure many of you are doing it, but also really ways that you can work with your own internal masculine and feminine energies to come into more of a harmonious inner union. Okay, which will obviously affect in a positive way your external relationships and circumstances. With that being said, it may include other aspects like inner child or shadows aspects or whatever have you, whatever comes up over this 22-day series is what I'm going to share with you. I'm committing to that for myself and to show up here with you, supporting those energies as we end 2023 and preparing to head into 2024. I'm looking forward to this for so many reasons. But when I got the download yesterday, I was like, it just felt right. It felt right in my heart and it felt really good. So I'm excited to share that with you. If you've been here with me already, I'm so grateful for you being here with me on the channel. If you're new, we would love for you to join us and be a part of this series in facilitating more and more inner union and inner harmony. And as we do that within ourselves, and then we come into harmony with others, even just from an energetic standpoint, like someplace like we are on the channel, it actually strengthens that energy in another way, right? We're doing it internally, but then the more of us that are uniting together in these harmonious energies, um, the more effect it has on the overall collective. All right. So that I wanted to let you know. I also wanted to let you know I have a circle coming up, radiance, inner glowing radiant energy, where we're going to be unraveling whatever may have been in your system around feeling unwanted, unloved, and really bringing in and holding space to facilitate more and more of that inner union and true core soul essence. There's been a lot of deep work on the core soul wound, which I think is going to be a big part of the whole theme with the inner union and the radiance group. So they all kind of weave together. My work does. So I'm going to put that in the pin comment, but it's also over on my community tab. And I'm super excited to announce, as a thank you to all of you, to all of my clients, to all of my subscribers, I'm offering a $25 off a one-on-one session with me from November 29th to December 29th. And I will also drop that in the pinned comment. So I'm excited and I'm looking forward to that. With that being said, I want to take a few moments to see what messages want to come through for you today. And what was kind of stirring in my mind this morning as I was preparing to come on here, I was thinking about how a few weeks ago I talked about tapping into and talking about the divine feminine's role within the planet, within divine union connections, within twin flame connections or partnerships. But the more I've sat with it, it's really something that can help and support all of us. But in these dynamics, it is a big part of the divine feminine's purpose, because she has that higher intuitive awareness and a different perspective than the masculine aspect. It's a big part of her purpose to come into those energies of inner union, okay? Because she's getting the information from her masculine who's mirroring to her where she may not have been in that inner union inside of her own energetic field. What I've found with many feminines, myself included, a very important aspect of this inner union process is healing our own internal masculine energies. And this is interesting because a majority of our planet, regardless of gender, sex, or identity, is operating in a more masculine energy. Okay. So a lot of us, even as feminines, operated a majority of our life from our masculine energy, having to protect ourselves and take care of ourselves and show up in the world in a masculine way. Okay, so part of it is allowing our internal masculine to evolve in noticing or working with any places where we may have been coming from our own internal wounded masculine, i.e., noticing where you run, where you wall off, where our defense mechanisms were in place, even though they may look different from the external masculines, they are mirrored within your energetic field. Okay. So just to support and facilitate part of that inner union by focusing on and supporting your own internal masculine, getting to know those parts of your masculine attributes and your strengths within your masculine attributes, and also where you can shore up your own internal masculine attribute weaknesses. Okay. And with that being said, as you work with that, you may find a similar pattern on your feminine side. This was very fascinating for me myself as I've been healing that internal masculine. I kind of hit this wall or this frozen block, so to speak. And it turned out that actually some of my feminine energy was very rigid and frozen and struggling to receive even my own internal masculine energy. Okay. So it seemed like, you guys who have been here with me, I work on the ancestral patterns and past life patterns and collective patterns with really unraveling and dissolving or thawing out those old patterns. So when I found this in my own system, it was surprising on one hand, but then again, it actually made total sense when I really felt into that aspect, that part of myself. It wasn't all of me. It's like we have these layers of us. It's like pages of a book, right? Like if you're an encyclopedia, which you're much more than that, but just roll with me for the purpose of the story. And each page is an experience or a day or whatever have you, right? So you have thousands and thousands of pages, and most of them are great. But when we have trauma or things that were uncomfortable in our system, those pages might get stuck together or frozen. You get what I mean? Or hidden. You might have whole chapters that are frozen or locked away. Okay. And so we work with shifting and unraveling and thawing that out so you can move through relaxing the trauma, dissolving the trauma, and allowing your true core energy, love, and essence to come more fully back online. So, what I'm saying is, a lot of you is present in doing what you need to do, but if you do feel stuck or like you're maybe not able to receive what you deserve at the levels you deserve, this may be a pocket where your internal feminine is a bit frozen or in defense mechanism protection mode. Rightfully so. That part of you became that way for a reason. I want to also acknowledge that some of those pages could be frozen or stuck together from ancestral patterns, which would mean that they were already frozen when you were born and you embodied into your physical body the day you were born. And so some of that information was just already present. Okay. So working with these, even if it's just via listening to these videos and tuning in to your own intuition and your own higher self and your own inner knowing, whatever the messages bring up for you or inspire in you or trigger in you, however you want to look at it, it's an opportunity for you to support and thaw out your own internal feminine and own internal masculine energies so that they can come more and more into internal union. Okay. So another thing is like if you feel that you have external relationships, yes, it could be a partnership, but it could be friendships, parents, family, coworkers, or anything. It could be your relationship with watching what's going on in the world. Okay. If things are triggered up in your system, what you can do is just notice where you're feeling that in your system and acknowledge it, and then set your intention to gain clarity and truth around what it's triggering. So this can be helpful, especially if you have no idea why it's coming up, because it could potentially be something, like I said, from an ancestor. It might not even be triggered or up in your system because of something you've ever personally experienced, but perhaps one of your ancestors did. And so that memory is stored in your system for a multitude of reasons. One, because it was part of how your ancestor may have survived, which got you here today. So thank you, ancestors. But also, um, if there was that fight, flight, freeze response and it got stuck in the system and never got to fully process, right, because of a survival mechanism, then that information will still be there in a way that is in that kind of frozen energy, especially in the nervous system. Okay. So let me see. I feel like, because I feel like this topic is so huge and we could go into so many things. And this is why I'm looking forward to really grounding in and giving this 22-day containers and series the space for us to really explore the depth of what inner union means for us as individuals, but also how it supports the planet. Because as we know, all of us are truly in our full inner union state, are a blend of those masculine and feminine attributes. Yes, we may take on a certain physical body, but internally we can come into union with those aspects of us. Okay. So let's see what we got. Mhm. So right out of the gate for this, with the topic that we're speaking about, it comes to me like the masculine, the feminine, and the inner child, which is also a very big part of the inner union, because as your internal masculine and feminine energies come more into union, it really supports that inner child, the inner golden child, which, yes, we're adults and we're growing, but if you stop and you really think about it, it's our inner child that is the purity, the creativity, the potential, the essence, right? And the feminine and masculine energies are what create the support in the container for that inner child essence. Okay. So it feels like it makes sense to me. I kind of had a feeling that our inner child was going to come into this inner union picture, but now that's confirmed. Okay. And also, really just our ascension and evolution, as I believe, as I understand, as my highest self has guided me, is not about leaving the planet or exiting our bodies. It's about bringing in more and more of our soul. Okay. So when we come into these inner union states and we're working with the energies that we have, present, and we're supporting unraveling what doesn't suit us or what isn't our information. We're making space to embody more and more of our own soul, essentially going into a form of our own soul retrieval day in and day out, each moment that we choose our authentic self and unravel out of the old patterns that don't actually support and sustain what it is that you're here to do. You're in that process of inner union and soul retrieval on a daily basis. And what happens with this, as we make space in our day-to-day physical life, in our body, as we purify our body, as we purify our emotions, as we purify our circumstances, and allow more and more of our true essence to come in, what happens is now those higher core soul blueprints, that higher plan that all of us, I think many of us, well, it was set in place before we were born, right? At a soul level, we created it. And I think many of us have some remembrance of that. At the very least, we have the remembrance or the knowing of how we feel the planet in relationships and love feels like it's meant to be, right? Like, I believe that's what drives a lot of us to be here and to do this intense work. Okay, right? Because we're wanting something more. We're remembering that there's a higher truth and a higher purpose to why we're here. And a big part of it is remembering who we are truly as individuals, and then collectively in group is in unions and groups and communities and families, and however that spreads out for you. But ultimately your main focus is to start by focusing on your internal union so that you can make space to pull in your purpose on deeper and deeper levels. And as we do this, then it expands outward in other ways, right? But think about it. Say we have 10, 20, 30 of us doing this. All of a sudden, this purpose, this group, this harmonious heart's energy amplifies magnificently, okay? Internally, but then as a group container, collective, working together in our own individual, independent, personal ways, right? We're all holding that space for one another to be in our own truth. But as we can embody that internal union and have that personal respect for ourselves, it becomes so much easier to show up with others and do the same, right? We can show up in true unity consciousness, no one needing to control what else anybody does, whatever any, yeah. You don't have to control anything outside of us, right? You just focus on your process. But the more of us that come together in this similar process, each individual, no one specific way is the right way, but the intention is similar in that we're choosing inner union. We're choosing to embody authenticity and love and truth and forgiveness in power and strength and stability and joy and peace and whatever else you want to add to that list. Okay. So this is where we're at, loves. This is what I'm going to be sharing with you on the channel. I'm committing to the 22 days from December 1st to December 22nd to usher us right into the light, right through the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere, which once we hit the 21st, we go into gaining more light here in the northern hemisphere. And I was going to do 21 days, but I kept feeling very drawn to the 22. For me, for whatever reason, that my guidance, that's really connected to me as the divine masculine essence. So allowing my internal masculine energy to create the container of the space of 22 days for my internal feminine essence to become creative and share with you and bring out more and more of my own inner child creativity to round it out. Okay. So I'm excited for this because this deepens my own internal union as we come together and co-create these messages and these videos and whatever else may come up. I'm open to doing meditations. We're just going to see what happens. I'm open to whatever is for the highest good of all that are here with me or who will ever watch these videos. Okay, loves, I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific that's on your mind around inner union. Do you have any questions? Do you have any thoughts? Anything you want to share? If you would like to do that, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Of course, you can always email me. I do my best to get to those. And if for some reason you don't hear from me, please comment on one of the videos or resend it because sometimes my email has been having a few issues. It's been a lot better, but I just want to say that in case because if something has been sent to me and I didn't respond, it's because I didn't get it. Okay, loves, I just want you to know. Okay, I love you. I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll leave the rest of that information in the pinned comment below. Love you.